Hi. It's a full moon, so I'm recording a video at almost 11 o'clock at night. I am feeling, I suppose, energized by the full moon and celestial weather in general right now. So it's a full moon lunar eclipse on the south node of the moon, which is in the sign Sagittarius right now. So this releasing energy that we're getting this huge expansive completion ring, and then it bursts in Sagittarius. So it's completing and bursting in Sagittarius. What is coming through for you? Oh, and this is happening over my son's Pluto, my older son. I'm just realizing some of his behavior today. Like, oh, okay, he's working out some shit. We had a pretty good day, but it was a lot of like being present, being compassionate, staying neutral, asking clarifying questions, holding people accountable, being careful, being mindful, making delicious lasagna. That's how we got through. And they're sleeping. So now I want to talk about astrology, and I want to talk just briefly about how the south node of the moon represents unresolved karma. So unresolved karma in Sagittarius themes, and then anything that you have going on in Sagittarius in your birth chart is being what's called transited by the moon as it is moving through Sagittarius, which means it is affecting those planets and how those planets play out in your lived experience through your chart and the interaction with the current astrology. So it'll vary by person. In Sagittarius, I have Neptune, and yeah, I have Neptune. And then, anyway, that's neither here nor there. So what's coming up is what is still happening for you that wants to be worked through. So what did you encounter today that was frustrating, perhaps triggering for you, of older lived experiences, stress? Like, these are things that would make you feel like stressed out, and you're likely not referring to them as unresolved karma. So you may not have a reference point for what I'm saying. This is the shit that continues to trip you up. It's being triggered. This is in Sagittarius land. Some of this comes through, some astrologers believe that this unresolved karma, anything you don't resolve in this incarnation while you're living, will go with you into the next lived experience, or the closest vibrational lived experience. Some of these concepts are pretty out there, and I'd be happy to explain them to you if you want to hear them. But basically, the dimensional lived experience you're having, the other dimensional lived experience you're having, that is closest in vibration to this one, or in resonance, that's the unresolved karma that is coming through, that's affecting you the most. And it wants to be correct. It wants to be, I don't want to say corrected only insofar as how you would prefer it to be, whatever is right to you. So when you're behaving in ways that are not in alignment with your integrity, you're picking up karmic sludge, we'll call it, all right? And then you got to clean that up. The way that we usually get these things cleaned up is to have another experience that is vibrationally similar and try to work through it again. And so we will go into similar feeling states that are this vibrational match of stress, betrayal, shock, appall, whatever the feeling is, disappointment, discouraged, despair. I'm feeling like rejected. Some folks are really having this feeling rejected experience, which is close, really close vibrationally and emotionally to abandonment. So some of that is coming up right now for many of us and in different ways, and it wants to be resolved. Okay, that wanted to be said. Some of what is contributing to us running that karmic credit card, anytime we betray ourselves, we are running that karmic credit card. Anytime we're acting out of integrity with ourselves, we are racking up, I don't want to say that it's debt, but opportunities, more opportunity where we go through that thing again to try to do it right again. And the player may be different, or it could be the same player for some of us, right? It's kind of the same relationship dynamic with even the same person that keeps coming around to be resolved, in particular because we are just moments away from a Mercury retrograde, days away, really. Mercury retrogrades a lot of times take us back to visit our ex. We do currently have Saturn in retrograde. Saturn just recently went into or became considered what is called apparent retrograde, which is that it looks like it's moving backwards from our position here on Earth. The way that we're orbiting and that Saturn is orbiting, the same is true for Mercury, makes it appear that from where we are on Earth, these planets are moving backward. They're not. So the key here, something to keep in mind, is from our perspective, our perception of what is taking place is that these planets are moving backward. The retrograde issues that come up to be resolved are usually a matter of perception. So changing the way that you perceive by perhaps shifting your perspective could give you some insight on how to actually solve this karmic stuff for you so that it doesn't come up in the future. That doesn't mean that I'm going to give you a magical spell to force your ex to say the right thing to you, okay? That'll make you happy right now. Nope. It's just not how it works. Sometimes that stuff ends up happening because you changed and then things happen different around you, but you can't just change somebody else. Unfortunately, you are the center of your universe. You're the one that you have to change. You are the center of it all. You. It's the truth. You are the center. I wrote something and I want to read it to you. I was feeling this for the Sagittarius full moon lunar eclipse. Okay. The disservice we are doing to each other through co-signing to the hierarchy of beings. How could anyone be sane living within this reality? I'm unplugging from this. For me, this paradigm is so old and tired, it is over. But the right is right. Cancel culture is not effective. It's more than canceling paradigm holders. It's using the intention, labor, and expired commitment to removing and neutralizing and transmuting you. It's all hands on deck to shift this vibration. Anyone with a sense of awareness on some or many levels, you've known our status quo is toxic. Let your insomnia or incontinence, your impotence, your chronic pain, your constant personal drama, endless complaining and despair move you to act. Move you to honesty. The way we do religion, politics, business, family, and socializing, the way we eat, monetize self-care, and pretend we are the best country in the world is like a cancer. We are collectively ill. I am in support of healing the wounds of colonization, capitalism, and the organized religions. Any and all, from Christian to Buddhist, who continually and repeatedly put men into positions of power and authority, and repress women and children? How can I write, inspire to express my feminine beauty, magic, and sexuality amongst this horror? Millions and millions of us co-signed this Western dystopia. By co-signed, I mean we've been in agreement with it because we've been living it and supporting it. But it is my responsibility to see, feel, and recognize when I am safe. And now I am safe. I'm honest with my people, the people I love, and I am true. When a soul can't yet vibe, I have learned to move further away so that our frequencies rarely transmit to each other. It's self-preservation. I am learning I can choose not to spend my energy on deflecting their shit. I can see that I'm safe, step into my power, not squander my privilege, tell myself transmitting through vibrations to those nearby. It's safe to let your magic be. It's safe to say no. It's safe to surprise, confuse, and offend people. I have a story about a few past me's, but I'll spare you the details. Here are the key themes: sexual repression, poor body image, abuse, disordered eating, low self-esteem, risky relationships, chronic lack of boundaries, spiritual awakening, spontaneous hands-free orgasms and meditation, sharpened intuition, keen sense of empathy, bliss, destiny unfolding, unconditional love, free love. I am here present, letting sexual power be, present and selectively radiant in me. I am solo, out here loving, having learned about my own health, my heart's unconditional desire for happiness, for non-harming, for joy, fulfillment, connection, pleasure, and magic. It's all or nothing, and the learning how to stop apologizing.